Namaste to everyone. Om Bhadram Karnebhyah Shrinayama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangaistushtvagmsastanubhih Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedah Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Manohidvividham proktam. Together. Shuddham cha shuddhameva cha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddham kama vivarjitam mana eva manushyanam Karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishaya saktam muktan nirvishayam smritam yato nirvishayasyasya manaso muktirishyate ato nirvishayam nityam manah karyam mumukshuna. We saw the meaning of the word mumukshu yesterday at length. Who is a mumukshu? And who is the one who is being addressed here? Because Vedanta Shastra, as this Rishi says, is for who? Mumukshus. Even the baby Vedanta book called Tattva Bodha talks about that right in the opening prayer. Mumukshunam hitarthaya tattva bodha abhidhiyate. It's for the hita, the benefit and the comfort of mumukshus. You know, for this, every body of knowledge is not for everybody. You know, I mean, there are always certain prerequisites. If you want to study this new thing that is now very catchy, gravitational waves, yeah, there is a wrinkle in space, and yeah, there is a wrinkle in space, and then you can see that, meaning infer that wrinkle, and you can find out where exactly it is located. It's not in one place, but you know, it's one of the places you can find out. And if you go there, you'll stop aging. Yeah, because that wrinkle in space and time means space and time, you know, are warped.
We have the address.
Pardon me? You have the address? Yeah, very nice. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Once you go there, you know how to come back, that's a very big thing. But This is the thing, so you go there in this wrinkle, meaning it's not behaving exactly as it should, meaning it's evident to us as absolute. Space and times, becomes evident to us as though it is absolute when it is not. And so this wrinkle somewhere, is called, one part of this whole thing is these gravitational waves, where you can see this space and time not behaving as it should. You can see them as relative, correct? Yeah. So if you want to do a study of that, you can't just be some, whatever, liberal arts student. In India, there is one particular, branch of knowledge. You ask the person, what are you studying? I'm studying science. What kind of science? Home science. I don't know if they have it here, but this is typical India. They have it here. And they teach you how to hem the tablecloths, and how to, cut the home egg.
Economics.
Home egg. Here it is called home economics, yeah. So there it is called science. How to make curtains, and how to take out stains, coffee stains, tea stains from the things, correct? So if a home science student wanted to study gravitational waves, first of all, they may not be interested because they are interested in tea stains. And so, that is their interest. How to take out stains from laundry. This is a big thing, Maybe not for you, but, you also don't want tea stains. Somebody has to be interested in that. And, and so here, they may not be interested in this. But supposing they are, then what do they have to do? They have to have some, more than some basics. Basics in physics and, and all mathematics, astronomy, and astrology also, because they have to see whether their horoscope, allows them to go in this direction, or are they just, beating against the forces. So they should know all this. You can't just be some, you can't be a liberal arts student and painting, and then, and because that's a different area of the brain that is engaged. And 1 minute you're singing and painting butterflies, and then next minute you're interested in gravitational waves. It's just not possible. So for every body of knowledge, there are prerequisites. There are prerequisites. And Vedanta is not an exception. Prerequisite means this is already gained. Pre means before. Yeah, the prefix pre means it comes before. Vedanta is the fix, mumukshu is the prefix. Yeah, so you have to, before things can get fixed up in the head, where the proper priorities, the proper priorities have to be in place before the ignorance is fixed up. Before the ignorance removal, you need to have certain prerequisites. And here it says mumukshu. And the teacher in this Upanishad, the guru or the sage, whoever it is, not named, assumes that you already know that this is what one has to do in order to gain this knowledge. Okay, one has to do means what? Become a mumukshu. But I don't want to be a mumukshu. Yesterday you explained it sounds so hard. And then what can we say? Vedanta is not for you. Vedanta is not for you. It is for people who are ready to take that step into mumukshutvam. And this is a very nice nod to all the requirements, because mumukshu is the first requirement. That is the basic one. It drags in other requirements, one by one. And those are not mentioned. Because when you mention one, it's as good as mentioning everything, Hat, coat, shoes, umbrella. You don't have to mention all of them. And if you mention one thing which is distinctive and which is needed on that particular day, the other things are taken for granted. Umbrella, raining, umbrella. So then the hat, coat and shoes come along. Nobody is going to go out barefoot, unless you're a special person. And this is what the whole thing is understood. And here, in a wonderful nod to that particular tradition of just mentioning one thing and bringing in everything else, he mentions moktumichha momoksha, one of the prerequisites to what? To study of the knowledge that dismisses self-ignorance. But remind me again, why should I dismiss self-ignorance? Because the dismissal of self-ignorance dismisses sorrow. Oh, that. Okay. Now I am with you. Abba, that's good. I'm happy. So, the mumukshutvam is part of a fourfold prerequisite called sadhana. Sadhana means the means for preparing oneself, the means for the study of Vedanta. So, this is called sadhana chatushtaya. Sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi. The gain of these fourfold requirements. How to gain them? Are they going to drop from the sky? No. Gain here means you have to cultivate them. You mean I have to do all the work? Yes. This Vedanta is not so fun anymore. It will be fun again once these are gained. Only 4 things, come on, that's not hard. And some of those things we have already discussed. Viveka, knowing what I want, is very simple. You all know what you want, correct? Yeah. Tea or coffee in the morning, followed by a nice hot breakfast. And, at correct time, lunch and dinner should also come. And, a few other things in between. And then, a very good life. This is all, this is what I want. That's fine to want that, but supposing it is not there, then what? That's okay, I'll just have a tantrum or two. That's exactly what is being talked about here. Viveka means knowing that in and through all the finite things that I pursue, I'm actually looking for myself. I'm actually looking for myself. I'm actually looking for Ishvara, whichever way you want to go. I'm looking for the truth of this Jagat, because as I said, there are 3 entry points to this knowledge. You can say, who am I? You can say, what is this crazy Jagat? What is the truth of this crazy truth also? What is the truth of this crazy Jagat? Or you can say what? Who is this Ishvara? Who is this Ishvara? And those are the 3 doorways, portals, of entry to understand, this Vedanta Shastra. And so here, Viveka means that in and through all those wants, what I'm wanting for is myself, is Ishvara, whatever it is. And if that whatever I'm pursuing, this is the next thing. If whatever I'm pursuing is not leading me to that, I drop that pursuit because it's a wrong sadhana. So what I want is to be contented, to be purna, to have ananda. And what I do is transpose that ananda onto the objects when actually it is the nature of the very subject, myself alone. And so, therefore, Viveka means what do I really want? What is it that I want? What is it that I wish to gain? And what is it that I want to have? Not what I want to have for breakfast. That's that's a small thing. What is it that I ultimately want? And the answer is universal. Nityatvam. I want Nitya. What is Nitya? Forever. I don't want, I don't want things. I want things because I think they are forever. But what I want is the forever. And then what I don't want, Anitya. So Nitya Vastu Viveka. And and we have a beautiful story in the Ramayana that when the coronation finally takes place, Sita comes back with Rama, and in the airplane, ancient airplane called Pushpaka, which was a collapsible plane. It could expand and collapse. And then some of the Vanaras, Vanara doesn't mean monkey, okay? Naro Vanava iti Shanka. So therefore Vanara, whether they are human or humanoid, we don't know. So that doubt is there. Therefore they are called Vanaras. So the Vanaras also hopped in for a ride. Hanumanji came. And then after the coronation, Mother Sita was so happy, she took off her very expensive pearl necklace and gave it to Hanumanji. And much to the shock of everyone, that fellow bit into each pearl, rare custom bred freshwater pearls. Very rare, okay? And he bit into each one of them and tried to look for something, and then he threw it away. He did that with bead number 1, bead number 2, bead number 3, bead number 4, and then Lakshmana, who was always very protective of Rama and Sita, pounced upon him and said, "Hey monkey, what are you doing?" You may have elevated yourself by calling yourself Vanara, but this is monkey buddhi. Markata buddhi. What are you doing here? Mother Sita gave you this wonderful gift and you are, decimating it literally. Says, I'm looking for Rama. I looked in the first bead, no Rama, And looked in the second bead, no Rama, threw it away. Looked in the third bead, no Rama, this is what I'm doing. And so that story illustrates the combined operation of Viveka and Vairagya in the being. That's what it is. So this is what it is. So when there is no Rama, there is no more drama. Drop it. Drop it. Drop the pursuit. No, but that's so hard to drop. Well, make it on the way to the airport. That's what. Yesterday we talked about doing all the chores and even some fun things, grabbing as they say, going and buying some, pastry, going to a friend's house, all these are fun things. Supermarket is also fun sometimes. So do all those things, but don't lose sight of the goal. That is what, is Viveka and Vairagya. See, out of 4 we have already finished 3. Mumukshu, yesterday we said what is Mumukshu. Today we are talking Viveka. What do I really want? Vairagya, the objectivity and the tenacity, the perseverance to drop the pursuits that no longer serve me. And for this, the exposure to knowledge is very important. After a few classes, I'm not trying to scare you, but all the things that you really thought were wonderful, you don't have much interest in them. Oh, I wish you had told me this last week. I would have thought, you should have said, here are the risks of signing up. If you sign up for this class, you will lose interest in life. You should have told me that. I'm not saying you'll lose interest in life. Don't put words into my mouth. All I'm saying is that certain activities, and here I'll qualify those activities, certain dysfunctional activities, certain time-bound activities, and certain activities that you just took on because there was nothing to do and because you were bored out of your mind, no longer will serve your interest. No, fine soup you have put me, and what am I going to do in that time? Shastram patha. Study the Shastra. That's what it is. So use that time to study, use that time to meditate, use that time to contemplate. And so therefore, it's not a bad thing. You outgrow the need for certain things, for certain activities. And if you stop enjoying certain things, that means you have grown up. That's a wonderful thing. Because, it's just like the marble example I gave yesterday. Nobody laments. There was a time when I was 7, I really loved dolls. I loved marbles, and now I have no interest. Look at them, I have no interest. That's a terrible thing. Maybe I need therapy. Nobody thinks that. It is seen as a natural, tendency to outgrow things. And the pursuit of Vedanta is the greatest commitment to one's own growth, and as a result of which you will outgrow a number of activities. And this outgrowing is called Vairagya. You're more objective, less dependent on things, people, situation and activities, because you are contented in yourself. You have recognized that contentment, so you don't need to keep things going in order to find something to do or in order to become contented. So this is a very good thing. Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam. So how much is left? Only one thing. And that thing is actually a six-pack. Six-pack, as in the sixfold virtues. Shatka. Shatka means sixfold. And those have to do, actually they are called just one. So really speaking, they were not 4, they are 9, right? No, only 4, because this 1 is to 6. 6 is 1, it's all 1. And these 6 are put together because they have to do with the development of a mental or emotional maturity. Certain qualities that give one an emotional maturity. And first is the one having to do with the sense organs, and that is called Shama, where the mind especially is resolved, non-reactive. Usually the mind is reactive, right? Somebody should just open their mouth trying to say something, immediately I have a comeback already planned. And not only do I have a comeback, and then I have already planned, okay, when I say this, they're going to say that, and I'm going to say that, and there's already a mental engagement. And because I have gone into their mind, I've entered them, so to speak, and then I'm having this dialogue. It's an internal dialogue based on my own presumptions of what they are, who they are, what they're going to say, and what I'm going to say in return, and what I'm planning not only for my reactions but their reactions also. All this has to come to a stop, slow stop. Shamaha. Sham to calm down. The fire stations in India are called Agni Upashamana Kendra. Yeah. So it's like that. It's like putting out the fiery mind. Why? Because it is unwise to let the mind come out, let the fiery mind have an outlet through the fiery speech. Because then it spreads, fire spreads, we know this. And there's nothing worse than regretting what one has said. The whole of the Hindu Dharma is all about Vak Tapas, cultivating the ability to disconnect an almost automatic connection between the mind and the speech, Shamaha. Because, this is what the whole, this is the whole kind of the problem is what, first of all I have thoughts. What kind of thoughts? Wrong thoughts. Based on my own reading of a particular situation, which is definitely subjective. And based on that, there are subjective reactions that I can't wait to share on Twitter and Facebook immediately. This is how many people are losing their jobs. Because Facebook means it is all over the place. Facebook, yeah, it is everywhere. Facebook is Sarva Vyapi, Sarvajnaha, Sarva Shaktiman. It shares numerous qualities with Bhagavan because it is all pervasive. It appears to be all knowing and all powerful. That's why so many people have lost their jobs. And this is how, without moving a muscle, the police is able to catch robbers even if they have left the country. All because of Facebook and this Twitter business. Because people don't have Shama and they put everything there. One robber said, I robbed this particular store. What are they called? Convenience store. I robbed this convenience store under the eye of the policeman who had also come to shop there. Right in front of the policeman I robbed it. And then he is, talking about his spoils. Atmastuti he is doing, praising himself on Facebook. And without moving a muscle, the policeman read that, the one that had gone there for a cup of coffee, and he, immediately sent some deputies. Everything was, the IP address was there, everything was there. Sent a couple of deputies over, nabbed him, made him cough up all the spoils. This is what happens when one doesn't have Shama. And then a frustrated employee in one fast food, joint, she was upset with the management. And so what she was doing, she was putting some things, I'm not going to go into details, some bodily fluids into the fast food, preparation before giving it to the people. And, and that she put on the Facebook. Finished. They said, please don't come ever again. And then another fellow, similar, same kinds of things. Another fellow said something about his boss, on Facebook or Twitter, and finished. So this is what it is. We are living in an age of increased transparency. It's like everybody is a little goldfish inside one bowl. And the fish thinks, oh look, I'm able to see everything. But the opposite is true. No privacy. The whole world has become a global village. And therefore, even if one is not interested in Vedanta, Shama has to be part of one's life if one values one's job, if one values one's, unincarcerated status. I didn't want to use the word freedom because we are talking of mumukshutvam as freedom. So therefore, if one wants to keep that unincarcerated status going, and then what else? If one wants to, what's the word for it? Have some semblance of sanity and have fruitful relationships. Forget Vedanta, we are talking of day-to-day living. And want to remain married, very important. That you got married is not an important thing, but you wish to remain married, Shama is important. It's crucial. And also it is needed for Vedanta. Why is it needed for Vedanta? Because if the mind is having flames of doubt, fear and all kinds of reactivity, the knowledge remains safe with the gurus. The knowledge remains safe with the teachers. because it goes to the ear of the student from the mouth of the teacher. And then what? Somebody said it goes out the other ear. No. There is no passage at all. It boomerangs back to the teacher. That's what it is. Because there is no receptivity. Shama means the non-reactive mind, where all the triggers for anger, fear, etc., one has a say over the triggers. You may not stop the triggers from unleashing, but you stop the mind, you take the time to resolve. So you stop the mind from reacting, step number 1, and you take the time to resolve those triggers. But in the moment you don't react, you are able to suspend the triggers and look at the situation with a certain, freedom. Shama. A close relative, cousin, brother, is Dhamma. In fact, we should discuss Dhamma first. Bahyendriya nigraha. Bahyendriya nigraha Dhammaha. So Shama means the resolution of the antahkarana, inner instruments. Dhamma is the resolution or the non-reactivity with regard to the organs of action. And this is what happens. This is something in America which is a problem. Anytime anybody gets angry, they pull out a gun and just shoot anybody they want. Whoever. And we have seen this happen even in the last week twice. Disgruntled person, no value for anything, and just kill people randomly. Sometimes very cold, like that cab driver who just killed people and in between picked up some passengers and then went back and killed people. Very chilling stories. This is all Dhamma. There is no nigraha, no restraint of one's hands and legs. So Shama and Dhamma go together, because when I stop myself from reacting physically, then I resolve all the issues that come up related to that, rage, etc., mentally, emotionally. So this is some kind of a housekeeping of the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. Dhamma, karmendriyas, housekeeping. Shama, jnanendriya, housekeeping. Certain things you keep in order to have a healthy mental attitude and an attitude of non-violence towards the fellow beings in the Jagat with whom I share this Jagat. There is a certain way in which I am respectful. And Dhamma also includes speech, vak tapas, because speech is an organ of action. Speech doubles, that's why you have to be extra careful. Tongue is both a taste, both a sense organ and an organ of action. So Shama, Dhamma. And then for qualifying for Vedanta study, one has to learn to let go of things that don't matter. Preoccupations, pursuits, So make the life easy for Shravanam. Make the life attuned to Shravanam, so much so that all this is, just riffraff. All the things that I'm surrounded by, all the things that I'm preoccupied by. And letting go here also is belief systems, ideas, pet peeves, all these ways of looking at the world, my outlook, all these things, I let go because it's not important. And this also is important if one wishes to remain married. See, this six-pack is very good for a healthy domestic life. You can be a wonderful spouse, you can be a great parent with the help of this six-pack. You can be a wonderful neighbor, friend, employer, employee. For these relationships also it is very important. And of course, the most importantly, it helps one to prepare for this knowledge. Uparati, letting go of trying to win an argument, letting go of needing to be right all the time. letting go of something or the other that's always I'm preoccupied by. Because when the mind is so crowded, Vedanta does not go in. There has to be some space. And so you cannot have a lot of irons in the fire. And this is what is called Uparama or Uparatihi. And then what? Shraddha. Oh, Titiksha. Titiksha, next one. And it is a it is a value for the knowledge, so much so that one is ready to put up with a little bit of discomfort, or even a lot of discomfort. It's raising the threshold of my comfort level and allowing myself to not be such a slave to my level of comfort that this has to be like this. Otherwise I can't study. I'm reminded of that person. Once I was teaching in Georgia, and a person would come armed with 8 or 9 pillows. And would come late to class also, 10 pillows. Bring in the pillows, and the pillows were so big that he had to make 2 trips. And the class would be going on. He goes out, comes in with 4 or 5 pillows, then goes out again and comes in with 4 or 5 more pillows. And everybody has to rearrange themselves because he has come, and more than that, the pillows have come, which take the place of 5-6 people, because huge fluffy pillows. And then he puts the pillow down, one pillow, and then one against the wall. He had his favorite spot and he had to sit there only. And then one against the wall, one on 2 sides, those kinds of, what are they called? Those bolster things. And then, one propped here, one propped there. Do you have any physical, some problems? Because people have problems. Back problem, this problem, neck problem. No, I'm fine. Then please sit on the chair, or there is a couch. No, I like to sit down. And then one underneath one knee, because he was not used to sitting in Padmasana. And the legs would be like airplane wings, the knees, ready to take off. And of course you cannot hold them like that for 1 hour of class, and so therefore there were pillows underneath and pillows on top and everything. And by the time he sat down, I was getting ready to say, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam. 1 or 2 days, that's what happened. And so this is the opposite of Titiksha. Titiksha means my focus is on the knowledge, so I'm ready to put up with some discomfort. I'm ready to put up with it. Because I'm not interested in the pillows, I'm interested in what? Pillow talk, which is Vedanta. For him, Vedanta was pillow talk, because he was surrounded by pillows. Really, I can't get that image out of my mind. Yeah. Thankfully, he stopped coming because he said it's too much. So, this is what it is. I'm not interested in the pillows, I'm interested in the talk. And so, it's like, when you're engrossed in something, you don't even know hunger, you don't know anything. Like, the Viveka Chudamani gives an example of a child playing, Kshudham and Vyatham Tyaktva. Not even unmindful of any kind of discomfort, whether it wants to sleep or any kind of tiredness or hunger. Balah kridati vastuni. The child continues to play with among the toys or with its friends, whatever it is. What happened to the hunger? What happened to the desire for sleep? All gone, because the activity is so engrossing that one forgets. So that just shows that the ability to raise this threshold is already there. In fact, most of the vyatha, the discomfort that one feels is due to not being, sufficiently engaged. When one is not sufficiently engaged, then all these thoughts keep coming. On a work day, everything, for example, everything goes fine. And on the day which is a holiday, suddenly you feel like eating more. Suddenly you feel like having, some more things. And then if that is not there, oh, how I really needed that, I wanted that, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. But it was not there from Monday to Friday. It wasn't there. But I did not notice. See, that's what the connection is. Titiksha here means, seeing this discrepancy and knowing that the body is extremely resilient and, it can go through. We are not talking of some kind of self-abnegation here in terms of the body, that you have to stand on one leg to study Vedanta. No. What do I have to do? Be comfortably uncomfortable. Yeah, that's what the whole thing is. Titiksha is a staying power in the face of difficulties, physical, we have discussed, and also mental. Because sometimes what happens is that Vedanta brings in certain openings. It opens the mind, it opens the heart, and one is not used to that much opening. So one feels like shutting down, and one feels like Vedanta is not working because it is bringing up certain things. What is it bringing up? It's not conjuring things. It is bringing up what was hidden inside, because that light of the Shastra is illumining the whole mind, including the cobwebs therein. No, but I don't want the cobwebs to be illumined. How will you clean it if it's not illumined? If you want to clean your house, you have to put the lights on, especially let's say you want to clean in the evening. You have to put the lights on. Or you have to open the windows during the daytime so that enough light comes in so that you see what you are doing. And you see these little fellows hiding in their little crannies. You have to be able to see that. And then you can clean. Where is the bunnies? Dust bunnies. Okay, yeah. Where are the bunnies? Where are the cobwebs? Where are all the things that are lurking in there? Where is the build-up of dust? That's a bunny is called build-up of dust. And all that has to be vacuumed, correct? And so, titiksha is needed here to be an impartial and loving observer of also the mental and emotional difficulties that may be in the process of being highlighted as a result of this study. You can't say, the going is getting tough, so the tough will get going. That is not the answer. The answer is to be with the teachings. That is what is called titiksha. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. All kinds of difficulties are endured, things that cannot be changed, okay? Yeah. Are endured apratikara purvakam, without reacting, without trying to change them, because they cannot be changed. Chinta vilaparahitam. Okay, I am not reacting, but I am having a lot of anxiety, chinta. I am having a lot of vilapa, wailing. Chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. This is what is titiksha. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam. Chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. This is what is titiksha, the ability to endure things for the sake of the knowledge. Because when that endurance builds up character, really it does. Each time you feel I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, it's most of the time it's raga dveshas saying that. So the raga dveshas are having a fit, let them. Then they leave. When they have a fit, they leave. Good. Then you find that you are able to be comfortable even in uncomfortable situations. It's very nice. Same thing, very important quality, not just for Vedanta, but also for a wonderful life. Because otherwise it will be like that seatmate that I had in the in one of the trips. You know, like wiping all the surface off with antibacterial wipes, and you know, and I was sitting like this with the hand on things. She said, "Can you remove the hand?" Okay, you know, wipe. I thought she was going to wipe me also. Fortunately, she stopped. So, very miserable she was. I felt bad for her, but you can't do anything. You know, that is the opposite of titiksha. Very, you know, very difficult to have this kind of a situation. And then Shraddha. This is really, you know, if we had to pick one that is the most important in all these six, it is Shraddha. All of them are important, but really, I would put Shraddha on the top of the list. So, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. This is the promise of the what? Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. The one with Shraddha gains this knowledge. So, what is this Shraddha? Shraddha is an attitude of reverence pending understanding, a respect and reverence for what is being revealed pending understanding. Shastrasya guruvakyasya satya buddhi avadharana. Shastrasya guruvakyasya satya buddhi avadharana. Sa titiksha, sa shraddha kathitha sadbhihi yaya vastu upalabhyate. So, with reference to the Shastra, an open mind and a reverence, and the Shastra, as I told you, doesn't come on its own. Who comes for free? Guru, teacher. Teacher comes for free. Teacher is the tour guide of the landscape of the Shastras. Where to go, where not to go, where to go first. That's why sometimes we start with the 5th verse, you know, because this is how it is. You know, you go, you know, you go with the tour guide. No, but I want to go by myself. Sometimes people join the tour and then wander off on their own. Sometimes people don't join the tour at all. They just foray, they make their own foray into their Shastra, into the Shastras, and then they, you know, very interesting. This I've never understood. They said I don't need Guru. Why do I need Guru? I can do this myself. I know the language, I can read the Upanishads. I can do everything myself, apne aap. And then they are fiercely independent, but then, ironically and paradoxically, they tout themselves as tour guides for the next people. They say, let me show you a guru-free way to go into the Upanishads. Who are you now? I am the guru-free guru. This is crazy, okay? And in the Mundaka Bhashya, Adi Shankara gives a very important piece of advice. Shastrajño api swatantriyena brahmanveshanam na kuryat. Shastrajña means the one who knows the language, the one who knows Shastra. Shastrajño api, one may know that. One may know the language. And when one may have, studied the Vedas, but swatantriyena, by oneself, unguided by a teacher, Brahman Veshanam, an inquiry into Brahman, na kuryat, one may, one not do, ma kuru, don't do. And this is a very important injunction, because, the force of the lineage and the blessing of the lineage in the gain of this knowledge cannot be underscored. Really. Because it is not something, it's so subtle, it's not something quantifiable or measurable even. It just simply is. It's the blessing that flows in the form of this sacred knowledge which releases one from samsara, from this life of endless means and ends and doing and becoming and all these kinds of, sorrows, fears, tears, nonsense. From this nonsensical life it releases me, and for that release to happen despite myself, not because of me. The release is happening despite my problems, despite my emotional lack of maturity, despite my, all the pet peeves and beliefs and ideologies that I have, despite my not coming to class many times, despite the fact that when I come to class, the body is here, the mind is elsewhere. Despite the fact that most of the times in class I enjoy Nirvikalpa Samadhi, despite the fact that, I really didn't put that much effort, still the release takes place, still the knowledge comes through. They must look at the grace, look at this unending, series of blessings from generation to generation of all the gurus that have worked so hard and have gained this, knowledge, so that life is easier for us, so that we can just sit here, and talk. We can just sit here in front of our own computers and listen. Before our gurus and our gurus, they had to go pedal, walking. No trains, no buses, no airplanes, no cars, no computers to sit and log on. And that to choice. Adobe or live stream, what shall I do? No, today I want to be anonymous. Let me go on live stream. No, today I want to be known. Let me go here. Not such choices. For this knowledge, they had to leave home, because this was not compatible with staying at home. Sanyasya shravanam kuryat. This is what it is. So they had to renounce everything, leave home, incur the displeasure of everyone, and then, finds a teacher. Perhaps that person did not know, maybe it was not the right teacher who did not resonate properly. Then they had to go in search of someone else. And like that, with great, Guruna ayasena, with great effort, they had to get it. They had to gain this knowledge, and their blessings and the force of all the things that they have studied, that is what is the blessing of the Parampara, is with us. That's why it is becoming easier and easier in so many ways. And in certain ways, of course, it is difficult. It remains difficult if I am not ready for it. In fact, it's neither easy nor difficult. Knowledge is knowledge. But I'm saying the approaching the teacher and finding a teacher is much easier now than it was, and connecting to the teacher is much easier now, and there are many choices. Before, those choices were not there. And one of Pujya Swamiji's gurus, Swami Tarananda, he left home when he was 12 and a half, 13 maybe, left home. And when asked, and he told his family, tomorrow I'm running away from home. He told his family, and they said, why are you doing that? Are you out of your mind? No, because this is not the life for me. What is the life for you then? That I don't know. He was honest. He said, I'm a boy, I don't know, I need to discover it, but this is not the life, because this is going a certain way. And in those days the people were married very young in the province where he came from. So they were already perhaps looking for alliances. The boys got married at 15, 16 and the girls at 12, 13. So he said, this is not the life for me. I'm going to leave home. And he just wandered. He wandered in the Himalayas, he wandered here, wandered there, and then after some time, after quite many years, met his teacher and then proceeded to study. So the blessings of all those, because all that they want for us, and us means the people who come avara later, all that the previous gurus want is for us to gain this knowledge, for us to enjoy this knowledge. They don't have any other desires. And this desire also becomes a blessing for us because it's not some kind of a binding desire for them. And so the force of this infallible way of teaching, this infallible methodology, infallibly unleashed for 5,000 years, I mean, that has to mean something, right? Therefore, I have to be able to receive it, because the knowledge takes place not because of me, in spite of me. That's a big thing. So I have to learn to be able to be receptive, and that receptivity is called Shraddha. Because all their sacrifices that they have made are not going in vain. They are benefiting me, they are continuing to benefit us. And that is Shraddha. Being able to see that and being able to receive with an open mind what the teacher is saying, and trusting that the teacher is not going to distort the words of the Shastra. No, but there are teachers who distort the words. Don't go to them. Simple. But simple, don't go to them. But how not to go to them? Don't go to them. Just because they know Sanskrit, they do all kinds of nonsense. Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. And they have changed it to some acharyas. Sa Atma Atatvamasi Shvetaketu. That Atma is different from everything. You are not that. Oh, Shvetaketu. I mean, look at it from poor Shvetu's point of view. Shvetu goes to the knowledge because he feels the difference. You don't have to study in a Gurukula to know that you are different from everything else. That is already I know. I know I am different from everything else. I don't have to be told that. So after the end of the study, what? You are different. You will still be different. And same thing in the Bhagavad Gita, there is that 4th chapter verse. Upadekshanti te jnanam. So they put, that rule. Engaf padanta dati. They put that Paninian rule. That elision of, that when the is followed by a, there is an elision that can take place. So they are imagining an that is not there. Upadekshanti te ajnanam. This is how they do the vigraha. They split it. Upadekshanti te ajnanam. Who? Jnaninaha. Ajnanam upadekshanti te. The jnanis, the knowers, will teach you what? Ajnanam. They will teach you about ignorance. Ignorance you have to be taught. I'm still wondering, what will lesson number 1 in ignorance look like? How do you teach ignorance? You don't know anything. And the student has to say, yeah, I know. Making it a laughable, everybody is wearing a dunce cap in that particular class. Starting with the teacher. That's what it is. Crazy. So, therefore, we have to make sure, see, when I go to buy a mirror in the shop, then also I look at myself and I make sure that out of the 10 mirrors, I make sure to choose one that is showing me in the slimmest light. Correct? Yeah. Showing me in the proper light. It shouldn't be like the Disney World mirrors, convex, concave, upside down, and all this way, that way, elongated. No, I shouldn't be a yo-yo in the mirror. I should just look exactly as I think I look. Correct? It should reflect me authentically. It should be an authentic reflection. So maybe in the mirror shop, I spend 5 hours searching for the right mirror. And when I'm looking at myself, I'm not looking at myself really, I'm checking up the mirror. Spend a lot of time checking up the mirror. Then finally I decide on this one and then hang it in the bedroom. The next day I get dressed, come out and then stand in front of the mirror. Am I looking at the mirror or am I looking at myself? You're not looking at the mirror. You have already bought into the mirror. So by all means, take the time, go guru shopping, no problem. With a shopping bag over the head, because you don't want to be recognized. You want to go anonymously. Go guru shopping. But once you understand what you're looking for, and once that person, you see that is teaching is teaching the Upanishads without distorting them, that is what you want, then there should be no barrier to Shraddha. That is Shraddha. Shraddha is not blind faith. Somebody said, I can swallow a pumpkin and I can make you swallow one too. Oh, Guru, yes. No, it's not blind faith. It is trust pending understanding. And this is very important. The trust is, in the person as the trust is not in the personality of the Guru, because then you will be constantly disappointed. Because personality means, do they like what I like? Oh, but I drink coffee, Guru drinks tea. No, incompatible. That's not what, at the level of which it's not about incompatibility of personalities. That you look for in a friend. What kind of movies do you like? What kind of, do you like hiking, or do you like walking, or do you like to go swimming? What do we have in common? Did you have this kind of a life experience? I had this kind of a life experience. Oh, you are also the eldest. I am also the eldest. These are these are kinds of likes and dislikes on the level of which, matchmaking takes place. Because when you put your computer profile, this is what you put. And these are the likes and dislikes on the basis of which friends are made or unmade. Correct? That's what it is. But the same criteria cannot be applied to seeking this knowledge, because you're not seeking the teacher, you're seeking the knowledge for which the teacher is a stand-in. So therefore, you are not in the least bit interested in the personality of the teacher. In fact, getting interested in the personality of the teacher becomes a very big impediment. That's what is called transference. It becomes a very big impediment to this knowledge. And so, I learned to transcend the personality and connect to the teacher only as a teacher. And if the teacher is doing a good job of teaching, don't look to the left, don't look to the right, just connect with the teachings. That's all it is. And online, that's very easy to do. Very easy. You don't have to deal with anything, And so, this is what it is. Everybody has a personality. Teacher will also have a personality. But I learned to transcend that personality and connect to the person. Because if I start getting interested in the personality, then the comparisons will come. Do we have things in common? What makes the teacher tick? What buttons should I press in order to get attention? All these things are, useless. Because, one suffers, the student suffers, the teacher doesn't suffer. If I have this kind of an attitude, then I only suffer. That is what the whole thing is. So the teacher is seen as the person, and who is this person? Purusha, that same person that I am. So the teacher is going to reveal not the personality, the personhood of myself. So in other words, in relating to the teacher, in connecting with the teacher, I am transcending my own personality. Really. I am also connecting to that person, which is that Purusha is same. So I am also identifying more with that Purusha and less with my own quirks. I am not obsessed with my own quirks or the quirkiness of the teacher. Okay? This is a longer discussion, so we'll have to come back for it. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yeah, I will sit here and you can ask questions or. Namaste. How do you resolve? Yeah, you resolve by, by a whole series of things, whether it is starting with what? You start with all kinds of things, you can talk about it. Therapy is a way of resolving. Yoga, meditation, all those are means of resolving. Okay? Yeah. Katrin, I saw your photo. You're smiling in the photo. Very nice photo you have sent us. Okay. Carry on, carry on. Yeah, namaste Nipun. Nice to see you. Yeah, mountain climbing. Yeah, correct. That's what it looked like. Om.
I saw in television one lady was presented this child, 40 years old.
Presented a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that child knew every single bone of the body and the work.
Really? How is that possible?
I don't know.
Maybe an osteopath in the last life.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, some samskaras from previous life. That's how these Mozart composed his first tune when he was 9 months old.
Yeah.
Every parent of every 1.5, 2-year-old has to see clearly that children have.
They come from elsewhere.
They come with right.
Yes.
With ragas that were not this lifetime, not given to them. They weren't taught.
Correct.
But you see what is coming in the lives to come. That incarnation has been more expandable as we go forward in years. Sadhji.
So say that again. I was reading a question here. Sorry.
That incarnation.
Yeah, that incarnation
becomes more and more expandable as the years goes on.
You think so?
It's obvious.
Yeah.
By looking at the results.
Right. Oh, that's very welcome. Thank you. Yes. That's very true. Very true.
Like in the Kali Yuga stage, that kind of, it was not exposed
So much before.
so much.
Yeah. Now there is reasons for that. Because in Kali Yuga we need all the help we can get. We need such signs. There are reasons for that. Kali Yuga has to be traversed with that. And Katrin has a question in regards to the last class where he spoke of different states of consciousness. No, we didn't speak of different states of consciousness. We talked about the different states of the ahankara, the being, the person. Consciousness doesn't have states. So, what is that? So, in the various states of waking, dream and deep sleep, that same unchanging consciousness goes through. So, what happened to Laya and what happens to Laya and Yoga Nidra, like Vishnu is in. So that is what would be called lucid dreaming. Yoga Nidra in Jungian terms is called lucid dreaming, where actually there is a lot of, a very rare state for human beings to enter, and it doesn't happen very often. So in this lucid dreaming, you are one with that total consciousness, so to speak. You can't really put it properly. So you are one with everything, you are one with Hiranyagarbha, and then because of that you may get some insights. So Yoga Nidra would come under lucid dreaming, and since that is not a separate state by itself, because it is not really different from Turiya, it is very close to one's own nature. Okay, that's why it's not mentioned separately. What does Guru Sakshat Param Brahma mean? Guru Sakshat Param Brahma means the Guru is indeed Brahman. I'm going to talk about that. Yeah. Guru is indeed an embodiment of Brahman. And that's the discussion after class, after the break.
Because Guru has already realized.
See, the one who knows the subject matter is the same as the subject matter. That's what it means. How does one resolve the triggers when they keep getting pressed? You resolve them when they are pressed without getting depressed. That's the way. Of course they'll keep getting pressed. That means the triggers are there. So you thank the person, you thank the person who has pressed them, or the forces. Thank you for showing me that these triggers still exist. And yes, you will react, but even after reacting, you just calm down a bit and say, oh, I have reacted. Well, that was not the best thing I did. So maybe I should not have reacted, but oh, too bad, I have already reacted, cannot be undone. Next time you will be a little more aware, a little more careful, and you will understand, you will be aware of it just before the reaction, or maybe as the reaction is taking place, you will be aware of it. Next time you will be aware of it before the reaction. And so like that, it's a process. You have to be very, very, very gentle with oneself. A six-pack cannot come without gentleness. If we had to add a seventh quality to the six-pack, I would say the seventh value is to be very gentle with oneself. Because if one is self-critical and trying to go about gaining these six-packs, then it is a lost cause.